First, we're going to talk about an apparent act of intimidation against an elected city leader in Portland. That is definitely our big story tonight. A car belonging to the family of City Commissioner Rene Gonzalez went up in flames overnight in southeast Portland. A neighbor spotted the fire and called the family to alert them. Gonzalez said his family is shaken and that investigators are treating it as an arson and believe that he was targeted.
This is a democracy, and this is absolutely no way to air disagreement with elected officials' positions. I'm going to be unbending and protecting the city of Portland. If you think you can reach me by targeting my family or my household, you are dead wrong. And I am going to pursue you with every inch of power I have and assure justice comes to you.
Think he's a little hot under the collar? I think he is, and very justifiably so. In case you've not been following along, Gonzalez is in his first term as a Portland City Commissioner. He ran on a law and order platform and is not afraid to take controversial stances. Last winter, he forbade the Portland street response, which he controls, from handing out tents and tarps to the homeless. He said it created fire hazards and encouraged the people on the streets to use the city's shelters instead. Now he's running for mayor, and he says a pattern of harassment has followed him from those who disagree with his positions.
Our campaign office was targeted a number of times during the campaign. My home has previously been targeted for both protest and for vandalism. So you take a stand in the city of Portland and you face a fringe group. That is one of the unfortunate realities in the city of Portland right now.
Multnomah County District Attorney Mike Schmidt released a statement saying threats of vandalism, arson, and violence, or any other form of illegal coercion against public servants or political candidates will not be tolerated. He said if confirmed arson, his office will prosecute those responsible to the fullest extent of the law. Gonzalez says it is time for the citizens of Portland to stop putting up with this sort of action.
I think of level-headed folks don't stand up to extremists. This is exactly what happens in the city of Portland, and we have tolerated this behavior for way too long. We cannot tolerate it going forward.
And so those are the nasty facts. And now, here's my opinion. I think it's outrageous that something like this happens in our city. The district attorney said acts of political violence and political vandalism will not be tolerated. I wonder what the difference is between political vandalism and political terrorism, because this feels like terrorism to me. I wonder what it was like for the family of Rene Gonzalez to feel that someone who wants to scare them knows where they live and felt bold enough to set a car on fire. I actually looked up the definition of political terrorism in the Webster's dictionary. It called terrorism the unlawful use or threat of violence against the state or the public as a politically motivated means of attack or coercion. Now, I guess it is possible that the car in front of the commissioner's home caught fire all by itself. Or maybe it was just a random vandal who had no idea whose car they were torching, and it's just a coincidence. But no, I don't buy that. In my opinion, there are people among us who believe they hold the moral high ground. And when they see someone like Gonzalez pushing policies they don't like, then they feel they have a green light to push back any way they want. They don't bother using the system, which includes debates and elections. They use harassment and violence. And I think that's wrong and needs to be called out. And yes, politics has always been a rough and tumble sport, but I do believe Portland has let this go too far. Another commissioner, Dan Ryan, had his home vandalized, and Mayor Ted Wheeler has had to literally move to different places 2 or 3 different times to avoid the harassment of those who disagree with him. I also wonder where the other elected leaders in our region are on this one. They're pretty quiet tonight, with the exception of Mike Schmidt and Mingus Mapps, who also condemned the arson. Maybe they're preparing for the winter storm. But in my opinion, every city commissioner, every county commissioner, every metro commissioner, every legislator, and everyone who holds any power should be issuing statements condemning this incident. I think these sorts of things will continue as long as they're ignored or get the reaction of a shrug. Things that are tolerated do continue, and that's not okay. It's an outrage. Somebody is trying to intimidate a candidate for political office in the city of Portland. I hope the FBI is looking into this. And if I'm wrong and this really was just a coincidence, I will apologize right here. But I don't think I am. And I think this is a big deal. And you should be angry about it, no matter where you stand politically or no matter where you live. It should be condemned and stopped immediately. Well, that's my opinion anyway. It doesn't hurt my feelings if you disagree, but you should communicate. Let me know what you think and why. Email me, will you? This address is thestory@kgw.com, or call and leave a voicemail. The number is 503-226-5090. I look forward to hearing from you.